Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Okay. Okay, so what we're talking about is dependent origination. And when the Buddha taught that whoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma. When you know how things are operated on the basis of cause and effect, but the dependent origination of the results depends on causes. When you know that so well, then you know how to embrace the causes of the happiness and how to get rid of the cause of the miseries. Knowing that, then you attain the dharma. Dharma here referring to the spiritual qualities, such as like cessation, Eightfold Noble Path, and so forth. These qualities will attain by knowing what will be adopted and what will be discarded, and then adopting properly and discarding what is to be discarded, then you will attain the realizations, spiritual realizations. And these qualities will eventually culminate in the form of ultimate enlightenment, full awakening, the Buddhahood. Okay, let's see. Because this exists, there exists this one statement. Because this is produced, that is produced. Number two. And then because of ignorance, the karma is created. Because of the karma, consciousness is created. Because of consciousness, name and form. Well, this is number three. So there are the three lines the taught in one set. These three lines, which Arya Sangha, again a great, the Indian master, around 4th or 5th century AD, he referred to these three as the three conditions for the composite phenomenon. Three conditions of the composite phenomenon. The first condition is the unwavering condition. The first one is known as the unwavering condition. And second one is known as the condition of impermanence. And third one is known as the condition of potentiality. Unwavering condition, condition of impermanence, and the condition of potentiality. Three conditions. Okay, the first, when the Buddha taught, because this exists, that exists, it refers to the condition of unwavering condition. It means that any result, should you see any result, that result must necessarily come into being, but dependence unwaveringly must depend on a cause. It must depend on its causes. Unwaveringly, there must be a cause there responsible for giving rise to the result. So this one is the unwavering condition, that it must. Number two, the condition of impermanence, which means that not only that the result should have a cause, the cause must be impermanent. if the cause is not impermanent, if the cause is permanent, which is not changing, then the result will not change. So without, for example, let's say that if the seed, in order for the seed to give rise to the shoots, in order for the seed to give rise to shoots, and the seed must undergo change. If the seed remains as seed all the time, then there will never be a time for the shoot to arise. So that in order for the result to come into being, the cause must be impermanent. This is number 2. Number 3. What is number 3? The condition of potentiality, which means that, say, the apple seed is a cause. Apple seed is impermanent also. But if you plant apple seed, don't expect mangoes to grow, because apple seeds do not have the potential to give rise to mangoes. So, for a result, you must rely on the cause which is concomitant in nature with the cause, with the result, or the cause must have the potential to give rise to the result. It's not that any cause will give rise to any result. Okay, so when the Buddha taught that the first one, we said because this exists, that exists, meaning because the cause exists, the result exists. Because this is the unwavering condition. Because this is produced, that is produced. Produced has a connotation of impermanence. Produced has a connotation of impermanence because produce or production is applicable only to the impermanent phenomena. So, because this is produced, that is produced, meaning that the cause must be impermanent. The condition of impermanence. And then finally, the condition of the potentiality. Ignorance will give rise to contaminated karmas. Ignorance will never give rise to uncontaminated karmas. Right? If you want uncontaminated karmas, then don't rely on ignorance. You have to rely on the wisdom, not ignorance. So ignorance will only, it has the potential not to give rise to uncontaminated karmas. It has the potential to give rise to only contaminated karmas. So contaminated karmas will give rise to the consciousness within samsara. And this consciousness will give rise to our connection with the next birth. Name and form. Name and form meaning, so what we have is the body and the mind. So the body is the form and the mind is referred to as the name. Why name? Because the body is something which we can, with the sense consciousness, we can see. But the mind, you cannot with your senses. The mind has to be known through your conceptual labelings. So name and form, and in fact, better translation would be labels and forms. Label and form, but this is a very standard translation now, which is widely being used. So I keep it as it is, name and form. Otherwise, it's better the labels, because the name, the mind can be known. Mind can be known through the conceptual labeling, and not through the direct senses. Okay, so these are the 3 things that we need to know related to the first level of dependent origination. Dependent origination of the what? Results dependent on the causes. This is so important. And on this way, every time we recite the mantra, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava, Hetum Tesham Tathagato Hyavatat. So there we should be reminded of the first level of dependent origination, that what good things that I do, I can expect good things. Where I do bad things, I can't expect good things. Only bad things will happen, right? So given that I want happiness, I should not embrace the causes of the happiness. Given that I don't want suffering, I am expected not to embrace the causes of the suffering. Given that I want happiness, you have to embrace the cause of the happiness. So this is so beautifully summarized in one verse, which is referred to as the essence of the Buddha's teachings. If somebody would ask you, what is the Buddhism in essence? You can say this verse, which the Buddha taught. commit no evils. Commit no evils. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. Commit no evils. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. Tame your mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. In Tibetan, Dikpachia Michashing. Gewa Pusum Sobarchu, Rangi Simni Yonsu Dul, Dine Sange Tembain. This is the summary of the Buddha's teachings. And if you are to just take it very loosely, it's very simple. And if you are to understand it in deep, it's extremely profound. So, when I said commit no evils, okay, it's not that the Buddha dictated that you should not commit any evils. No. What do you want? I don't want suffering, I want happiness. If you don't want suffering, sufferings don't arise randomly. They arise from their respective causes because it falls under the category of dependent origination of the results, dependent on the causes. And it has to fulfill the three conditions. So, condition of the potentiality. So, therefore, your suffering arises from the causes. Don't embrace those causes. What are those causes? Evils, evil thoughts, evil actions, physical, verbal, and mental actions. Stay away from these evil, physical, verbal, and mental actions. Commit no evils if you don't want suffering. And what do you want? I want maximum happiness. And happiness is again not a random phenomena. It should necessarily come into being, but depends on their respective causes. What are these causes referred to as? These causes referred to as the virtues. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. If you want happiness, accumulate as great wealth of virtues. And how do you do that? Some people say that, hey, look, your suffering is because of your the evil thoughts and evil actions, evil karmas. So don't, yes, now I realize from tomorrow onwards I will not do any non-virtues. Not that easy, right? Not that easy. Okay, this is about habits. For example, how many you say during your closer towards your exams, when you in your school days, college days, closer to your exams, for tomorrow I will not sleep at all. 24 hours I'll study, right? The next 1 week I'll study, I'll take coffee in the night, right? And then invariably you'll fall asleep. These are not in your control. It's all determined by your previous causes, conditions, your previous habits. So because of which, how to do that? We have to know how the mind works. It's not that you have the full authority. To get rid of the factors which make you to act in evil ways, tame your mind, to embrace the causes, embrace the factors which make you behave in a virtuous way. Tame your mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. And how to tame the mind? To get rid of the evils, the best thing is wisdom of emptiness. Tame your mind by seeing the emptiness. Tame your mind to see the emptiness nature of all phenomena so that you will stop behaving in a negative way. Tame your mind. Tame your mind to embrace all beings with unconditional love. That will guarantee your infinite happiness. So, your unconditional love, this gives you the maximum virtues. The best way by which to accumulate, saying, oh, there are so many kinds of virtues. What kind of virtue? You just do one thing and all the virtues will come in your hand. Be compassionate. Be compassionate and all the virtues will invariably come to your hands. So, say, tame your mind to embrace this unconditional love and bodhicitta, to embrace the maximum virtues in order to have the maximum happiness, and tame to see the wisdom of emptiness so that your evil will stop and your miseries will stop. Okay, this is the teaching of the Buddha. Okay, so with this, then the next is, okay, so now dependent origination is good. So how can I see that things are dependently existent? That there is nothing independently existent. You're getting it? There's nothing objectively existent. Okay. For this, we need to, this is something that, ideally speaking, it is said that wisdom of emptiness is not to be taught so easily. Because, can you guess what would be the reason? Anyone? Why the wisdom of emptiness is not encouraged to be taught so easily? Yes, one can easily fall into nihilism. What's the problem if you fall into nihilism? Oh, you have brain damage. Oh. Yes, sir? Yes. If you fall into nihilism, you will disregard the law of karma. You will disregard the law of karma, and then you will do all the things which you see as beneficial within your due to your short-sightedness. What is that? Okay, why do I have to work so hard to get money, steal, Okay, all 10 non-virtuous actions can easily happen. And with non-virtuous actions, what's the result? Outcome is miseries. You are getting it? So therefore, the point is that if you fall into, if you understand this wrongly, understand emptiness as nihilism, then you will disregard the law of karma, because you disregard the dependent origination. If you disregard dependent origination, 3 levels of dependent origination are disregarded. The first one, which is cause and effect, that is disregarded. You discard the law of karma. And then you will engage in all the non-virtuous karmas, and which will simply drag you into deeper and deeper and deeper miseries. Okay. So therefore, it is advised not to teach emptiness so easily. But then without teaching emptiness, there is no escape from samsara. You have to teach it. Other things that we require a lot of skillfulness. You are getting it? And so within such a short span of time, 1 week, emptiness, fossils, bodhicitta, meditation, everything. We can't really imagine that these things can happen, but let us try our best. Okay, for emptiness, to make sure that we don't fall into nihilism, this is extremely important, to make sure that we don't fall into nihilism. For that matter, for emptiness, we always begin with 2 questions. The first question, do things exist? Do things exist? What do you think? If your answer is no, is empty. If your answer is no, you fall into nihilism already. Things exist, happiness, suffering, causes of the happiness, causes of the miseries, and the remedies of the miseries, remedies of self-grasping ignorance, remedies of self-centered attitude. All these exist. In other words, all things exist. You're getting it? Let's not forget it. Everything exists. Never say that things are empty, emptiness. No. The first question, if the answer is negative, you fall into nihilism. Answer should be, do things exist? What's the answer? Yes, everything exists. Good. Second question, do things exist objectively? If you say yes, you fall into absolutism, the other extreme. If you say yes to the second question, do things exist objectively? If the answer is yes, you fall into absolutism. Right? So to stay away from the two, falling into 2 extremes, you should be able to say yes to the first question, no to the second question. Yes to the first question, do things exist? Answer should be yes. If you say yes, it saves you from which extreme? Extreme of nihilism. To the second question, do things exist objectively? What should be the answer? No. If you say no to the second question, it saves you from the extreme of absolutism. Good. Only then you are entitled to go for the emptiness. You getting it? Okay. So having said this, okay, tell me, thus far, what did you get of emptiness? In your mind, what does it mean by emptiness? Just tell me. Anyone? Anyone? Quick. Yes. Ajikasanrola. Emptiness means emptiness of objective existence. This is the only you agree? Are you sure? Okay. Yeah, he agrees. Emptiness means emptiness of objective existence. Okay. Tell me, what do you mean by emptiness of objective existence? Anyone? Your name? David, yes.
It means what I'm seeing is an interpretation based on my own cognitive cognition.
What I'm seeing is interpretation of what my cognitive thought processes, they work. How it, that interprets. There's nothing really there from the object. Nicola?
Things don't exist from their own.
Okay, let us all listen to these. These are very important. Whether you agree, don't agree, it doesn't matter. If you don't agree, why you don't agree? Right? In some cases, it can be very brilliant. Wow, this is a good thing. Yes, I agree with this. Yes, Nicola?
Phenomena don't exist from their own side. Phenomena don't exist from their own side.
That things or phenomena don't exist from their own side. Anyone else?
They exist because of their parts, based on causes and conditions, and as a result of a living mind.
Okay, things exist, but depends on causes and conditions, but depends on the parts, by the power of your labeling, by your mind. Anyone else? Yes, Nizumullah? That everything comes into existence by dependent origination, by any of the three, the versions of dependent origination, by depends on cause conditions, or depends on the parts, or mental designation. Anyone else? Okay, Tendullah. That things don't exist independently. Good, Raviji?
It means that things do not exist truly.
That things don't exist truly. Okay, so all these different labels, different words have their own weightage. They have their own the weightage and the meaning. They are very important to hear. The more the versions you hear, the more your mind becomes flexible. Okay, so from this, what we learn is that things don't exist from the object. Okay, how not from the object? There are several levels. You're getting it? There are several levels there. Simply by getting one version doesn't mean that now I understood emptiness. You're getting it? Say, the one problem with modern education is that I would say the side effect of the modern education is that we tend to become very quick in drawing conclusions. This emptiness. No, this is a very long journey, but very interesting journey, right? And if you are very quickly in making decision that or conclusion that this emptiness, you don't progress any further. It stops you from further progress. You will not go deeper into the emptiness. Okay, so let us not be too quick to draw a conclusion. And even if you get some experience, like some tickling sensations or a tinge of fear or cold waves flow through your body, even if this experience comes to you, still don't just make a quick conclusion that okay, now I got emptiness. So this is the greatest failure, because what you want is you want to get rid of all the miseries. You don't want to get rid of only a partial misery. To get rid of all the miseries, you have to see the ultimate, the finest understanding of emptiness. Emptiness, there are various levels. There are various levels. Okay, quickly, the 5 levels of emptiness. You want to write? The first one. 5 levels of emptiness, or 5 levels of selflessness. In a loose sense, selflessness and emptiness, these two are synonymous. In a loose sense, selflessness and emptiness, these two are synonymous. 5 levels of emptiness, 5 levels of selflessness. Number 1, emptiness of permanent, unitary, independent self. Emptiness of permanent, unitary, independent self. Number 2, emptiness of autonomous, substantial reality. Emptiness of autonomous, substantial reality. Number 3, emptiness of external reality. Emptiness of external reality or emptiness of externality. Emptiness of externality or emptiness of external reality. This is number 3. Number 4, emptiness of true existence. Emptiness of true existence while not rejecting objective existence. Emptiness of true existence while not rejecting objective existence. And finally, emptiness of objective existence / inherent existence / intrinsic existence. Okay, let's go for these 3. Emptiness of objective existence / inherent existence / intrinsic existence. These are all synonymous. So given that when we understand emptiness, and these minimum, they're like these 5 layers. And what kind of experience, what kind of emptiness you experience, we never know. We never know. And even the first level of the experience of emptiness, it can give you a great sense of wonder and awe. And there's a tendency that you may conclude by saying that, okay, I've seen emptiness. This is very dangerous. If you get stuck there, you will not go to explore the deeper levels of the other 4 levels of emptiness. Okay. So objective existence, we said, what we learned is that the emptiness means emptiness of objective existence. And what's the opposite of objective existence? Subjective existence. Okay, let's learn these opposites. One, they said a subjective existence as opposed to objective existence. Subjective existence as opposed to objective existence. Number 1. Number 2, deceptive existence as opposed to true existence. Deceptive existence as opposed to true existence. Next, dependent existence as opposed to independent existence. Conventional existence as opposed to ultimate existence. Conventional existence as opposed to ultimate existence. And then finally, relative existence as opposed to absolute existence. Relative existence as opposed to absolute existence. We need to know these 5 pairs. 5 pairs or 4 pairs? 5 pairs. What's the first one? Subjective as opposed to objective. What is next? Deceptive as opposed to true existence. What is number 3? Dependent existence opposed to independent existence. What is next? Conventional existence as opposed to ultimate existence. Good. Relative existence as opposed to absolute existence. Okay, we need to know these 5 pairs. So from these 5 pairs, we see that there are the 5 synonyms. You can draw the 5 synonyms. Let's say what is rejected? Objective, independent, true, absolute, ultimate. So ultimate existence. These 5 are synonymous. Now the other 5, what are the other 5? Subjective, deceptive, dependent, conventional existence, relative existence. These 5 are synonymous. You're getting it? Okay. So from this, in the course of this retreat, we'll focus more on, say, the subjective existence and conventional existence. To reject objective as opposed to subjective, and ultimate existence as opposed to conventional existence. We will focus on these 2, and the others eventually, when you get a good understanding of what emptiness is, then you must work on each of these labels. That don't just say they are synonymous, right? Each of these labels have their own weight. They have their own weight of understanding. They will give you, they will make your understanding finer, and they will give you a nuanced understanding of what emptiness is. Okay. So we will talk of the subjective and convention. First, we'll work on the convention. Okay. What does it mean by convention? Anyone? What does it mean? How many of you know what is convention? Raise hands. How many of you know what is convention? Raise hands. Convention. Raise hands. How many of you know the word convention? Right? Sometimes you use this word convention. Raise hands. Good. Anybody who likes to share with us, what do you understand by convention? Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay, Sanjukta.
Something that is universally understood.
Something that is universally understood. Are you sure? Okay. Let me not reject. Okay. Tuesday.
Commonly understood and practiced.
Say it again.
Commonly understood, accepted, and practiced.
Okay. For me, it sounds nice. Commonly, this word, convention, commonly, right? Commonly understood and practice. Can you give an example?
Taking the shoes off when you come into the room.
Yes, taking the shoes off. Yes, okay, taking the shoes off. Good, good. Anyone else? Nicola?
Something that is generally accepted.
Something that is generally accepted. This is known as convention. Okay, good. Okay, anybody else who has to give a concrete example, and that others will accept? Yes, this is true. Yes, David?
Something which is agreed upon. So if I...
Okay, something which is agreed upon. Again, this word agreed upon. Agreed has a connotation of subject or the object. Agreed. Subject. You're going to, we agree. Agree means the road agrees or the traffic rule. All the road agrees, or the people agree. People agree. The subject. Very good. Gabor?
I would add to that it's arbitrary.
Arbitrary. Okay. Okay. Arbitrary. The conventions can be arbitrary. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give me an example?
For example, the traffic lights that red means stop and green means go.
Traffic light. Red. Why not blue? Why not pink? Why not yellow? Right? Why red? You should stop. Why green? You go. Why? It's just arbitrary. Yes, that makes sense. Thank you. Anyone else? What does mean convention?
Something that's implicitly accepted. Sometimes conventions are not conveyed in words, but implicitly people.
Can you give me an example?
While growing up, you never question your elders when they ask you to do things.
Okay. Yes. Don't question your elders, right? Don't question your elders. This is a convention of this community. Right? If you question elders, it's very rude. Don't question elders. This is convention. Yes, it can be implicit. It may not be directly, you don't find it anywhere written, but it's somehow implicitly being understood. Okay, good example. Anyone else? Okay, we have the Pemasilna. Okay, driving on the left lane, right? Driving on the left lane. That is convention, right? That we, okay, not driving on the left lane, that we should drive on the left lane. We should drive on the left lane. There is convention. The road will not say that you are on the wrong lane, right? This is convention. Okay, yes.
So different cultures and societies, they have different meanings sometimes.
For example,
What is considered rude in a certain culture?
can you give example?
So, like for instance, in certain countries, they wear white on certain occasions, while in other countries during the death they wear white.
Okay, to mourn the death of somebody, some people they wear white. That this is indication of mourning. And some people they wear black. And white, no, you are being totally disrespectful to the community. You know, to mourn you have to wear black. Okay, convention, good.
Isn't convention like a fair?
Fear.
Science convention?
Say it again.
Isn't convention like a fair?
Fair.
Fair, like science convention?
Can you give me an example?
Science convention.
Science convention. Science.
Science convention.
What do you say?
Convention like a conference.
Conference. Huh? No, you tell me.
Like a fair. You know, like
Putila, خلص. Seminars and conferences. So how is that convention? Okay. Okay. That's true. That's true. Okay. Yes. We have a convention, right? Convention, a meeting, a conference. Oh, that's true. So convention is opposed to ultimate. Oh, we'll not have ultimate. We'll have convention, right? Okay. Good. Thank you. Okay, that's a very different way of looking at it. Thank you so much. Okay. So now convention. Anyone else? Yes.
Has been going on for a while.
Huh?
Has been going on for a while.
Which means?
Convention is something that has been going on for a while.
Like what?
Not entering the house with shoes. It's been going on for a while, so it's accepted.
It's an old tradition.
Yeah. For a duration of time.
Okay, for a duration of time. Okay, so it's a little indirect. You are not talking about the convention per se. You are talking about one of the characteristics of the potential convention. With convention, there are many versions. Some convention can last eternally long, right? Yes. Okay. Ajikibala?
We have to eat in order to survive.
Oh, there's convention. Okay, that's interesting. That we have to eat in order to survive. That's interesting. Yes. Finally, the answer is yes, but many people will say that no, this is an intrinsic quality. If you want to survive, you have to eat. This is the only way. It's not a convention. But ultimately, this is the answer. Okay, Parulji?
Just norms and rules made up by society, made up by humans arbitrarily in society.
No, norms and
Rules.
rules. Norms and rules. Look, these are the words. Norms, rules, customs, and arbitrary traditions. And then, David, what did you say? You said something. No, earlier you said something. Convention. Agreed upon. They all have the connotation of the subjectivity. You see that? Okay, so this is how subjectivity and the convention, these two will be seen as synonymous eventually. You getting it? Okay. So from this, we see, for example, let's say that okay, one example popularly given as a source of debate for many of the philosophical traditions is that the river Ganga River, so in those days it must be very clean. In those days, today is very dirty. In those days, very clean, now polluted by everybody, right? But if the industries, badly polluted. In the olden times, it must be very clean. So this river Ganga is, for the ordinary people, it is drinkable water. You can drink it. And for god and goddesses, this is like a nectar, not ordinary water. You drink it and it will nurture your body. And for the hungry ghosts, this is just a barren the piece of land it's a dry, without water there. So the same thing, or let's say, for the hungry ghosts and the hell beings, you see this as a pus and blood. For the ordinary human beings, we see this as ordinary water. And for the god and goddesses, they see this as nectar. And it's not just perception. They drink it, it actually functions as nectar. For us, it does not function as nectar, it does not function as blood and pus, but it functions as ordinary water. And for the hungry ghosts and the hell beings, this is actually literally function as blood and pus. Okay, so the same object is seen in three different ways. So from this we get the feeling that okay, that is subjective. If it is true, would you say that this is subjective? If it is true that human beings we see this ordinary water, god and goddesses this is as a pure nectar, and the hungry ghosts and the hell beings they see as a blood and pus. If that's the case, then what is blood and pus, water, nectar? This is purely subjective. Yes, no? Good. Okay. And then do you agree with me that the one example given by Bodhisattva Aryadeva in his text, 400 verses, is that say a young girl seen by three different beings. By, let's say, a lustful person is seen as object of lust, and by a practitioner of meditating on the impurities all the time, that our body is made of, so you expose yourself to a little bit of heat, then the sweat comes out, and our body is very dirty, right? Reality is very dirty. You agree or not agree? Yes. Okay. I don't want to go too much into this. The fact is it's very dirty, and then if somebody keeps on reflecting on the impurities of the opposite gender, then when you see the opposite gender, you will see it's very, very repulsive. The girls looking at the boys can be very repulsive, boys looking at the girls can be very repulsive. And then for the lions and tigers, it's seen as a delicious meal. Hey, you agree, not agree? Yes. Right? It's the same, the young boy or the young girl. For lions and tiger, this is not object of lust, this is not impure, this is a delicious meal. So three different people perceive the same object in three different ways. You getting it? This is subjective, yes? Okay. So we need numerous examples to see the subjectivity. Okay. And what is the taste of the orange like? Sweet or sour? Huh? Sweet. Huh? Chelsea? Okay, it depends. Okay, what do you want? You want to taste the orange as, okay, same orange that I give you? Okay, one orange that I may pick up, you want to taste this as sweet or you want to taste that sour? Who is that naughty person? Okay, so if you want to taste it sweet, what do? I'll give you one advice. Same orange, before you take the orange, you ate a lemon. You ate lemon, and you ate this orange is extremely sweet. And if you want to see the same orange as sour, first you eat gulab jamun. Right? You know what gulab jamun is? Yeah. Okay. Or you ate what is that? The rich chocolate cake. And then with this orange, the same orange which you earlier they tasted as so sweet is now very sour. You're getting it? Therefore, many smart people, when they are to eat oranges, right, as a dessert or what? As a dessert, that they say the orange after the food, then if they think that this is a little sour, or then first they eat something, sour, and then eat the orange is sweet, right? Or if there's a choice, and there are some items there, orange and what else, like sour items, and then very sweet items, right? So first they eat the sour part so that the other things will be seen as sweet. Okay, so this is all relativity, which means that whether sweet, sour is purely subjective. You get it? Okay, so this you need to think of as many examples. There's many examples to see that things are subjective, things are subjective, things are subjective. Our mind is so addicted to seeing things as so objectively real, objective real, objective real. We have to undo this bad habit first by going for many examples that things are subjective, things are subjective, things are subjective, right? And even even the people say do I look young or old? Right? If you want to see me young, right? If you want me to see young, or if you want you to be seeing young, don't go too much with young people. Go with the older people. Yes. Go with the older people. Then others, they see you as with such a clear complexion, very healthy skin. This is how the optical delusion. And whereas those of us who are in your 20s, raise hands, those who are in your 20s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say, okay, many of you are in 20s. You think you are young or you are old? Here, you will see that you feel that you are young. So don't say too much, spend too much time with the people who are 16, 17. Literally, the other people will start to see you as old. Right? Wow, this is what I've seen with my own eyes. How our mind can be deceptive. How the youthful appearance, old appearance, this is all subjective, depending on, the relativity. You're getting it? So we have to think of more of these to see that things are subjective, real, things are subjective. You have to bring these examples more. Okay. So, how many of you have complaints? Right? This problem, that problem, my husband, my wife, my brother, my sister, right? My father, my mother. How many of you have complaints? Raise hands. Right? And complaints are usually directed to somebody else. And that somebody else will direct to you. Right? This is complaint. Right? Okay. So in reality, even the complaint is because you see that as objectively real. Kamala. Even that is seen as so objectively real. And to dissolve this objectivity, we need to see things in relative terms. You're getting it? Relative terms. So you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised to see that things exist only in relative terms. For example, like you must try this. You must try this. Lemon, orange, and chocolate cake or gulab jamun. You must try this. You must try it at least once. You must get this conviction. First, eat the lemon, then eat the orange. What is the taste of the orange like? Eat the lemon and munch it for some time, not just for 1 second. For some time, and then eat the orange. What's it taste like? Objectively, I won't use the word objectively, it really tastes as sweet. And the same orange, after a few minutes, then you eat this something very sweet, like gulab jamun or jalebi, or what else? Cheesecake, or say the chocolate cake, very rich chocolate cake, very sweet one. You eat it for some time, just munch it for some time, and then eat the same orange. It is very sour. You must try this. And this will give you a conviction that objectively things are empty. From the object, there's nothing to be identified as sweet, sour. The next experiment I would suggest is 3 containers. 3 containers, say like 10 degrees centigrade water, 40 degrees centigrade water, or let's say 30 degrees centigrade water and 60 degrees centigrade water. Don't go for 100 degrees centigrade. Right? Okay, 10 degree, 30 degree and 60 degree. You getting it? Okay. So you put your left hand in the 10 degrees centigrade. What is that like? Very cold. Then put your right hand in the 60 degrees centigrade. What is that like? Very hot. Keep it there for a few minutes, like 5 minutes, keep it there. Then take the both hands out and put in the 30 degrees centigrade water. And what is your response? Left hand will say that it's very hot. Right hand will say it's very cold. Right? The same water, the same person, but you feel it, the two different, the temperatures, or two different degrees of heat. One says it's very cold, one says it's very hot. You're getting it? You will be surprised. So things appear as so real, as good, bad, and so forth. It's purely, there's nothing really from the object. It's just pure relativity operating. Relativity means that your mind, on the relativity of this, your mind imputes this as cold. Relative to that, your mind imputes that as hot. You're getting it? This is how our mind works. Okay. So we have to think more on this. So we stop here. We have, okay, question?
I noticed that it's easy for my mind to do that with, for example, food or hot water and cold water. But when it comes to people, like I also understand, like, there's...
People like what?
For example, my cousin or my cousin...
No, what? With respect to what?
With respect to the roles that they play.
Yes, roles, yes. Roles meaning? Loving, affectionate.
No, meaning
Then?
the role of a friend or the role of a cousin or the role of...
Okay, somebody as cousin, somebody as mother, somebody as
Also relative.
brother. Okay, see that the, let's say this is what, if you remember what I said, that's conventions. They are not always like, it can change right here and there. For example, sweet, it sounds very sour next moment. So some conventions last eternally long. You getting it? You getting it? Say, somebody with omniscient mind is Buddha. This convention exists, holds true at all times. Somebody with this self-grasping ignorance, this is samsaric being. This exists true for eternally long. So it's not that convention means you can change anything. You're getting it? So first we have, okay, what is important is that first we need to know that yes, things are relative. Say what is easy, apply. Learn this. And then you should first get a feeling that by the way, what is your cousin?
Where?
What is your cousin? What is your cousin? Cousin is a bunch of atoms. Right?
But I cannot see that as
No. It's not about you can see or not see, but you can learn this. It's a bunch of atoms. Right?
For me, it's purely
No. Don't stay with your chronic way of perception. I don't want to change. This is how I see. No, you have to change gradually. So this is why we have in this class. You're getting it? We have to try to change gradually. So therefore the emphasis is one. You have to think more. You're getting it? If you don't think like this, no, my cousin is a cousin all the time.
I think it's what I'm saying is not that I don't want to change, but that I can conceptually see that my cousin...
I know what I'm saying. So we have to change it. Can you move to the next way of thinking, which you never did before? That your cousin is a bunch of atoms. Can you do that?
I have.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Good. In that bunch of atoms is their cousin? Right? Why are you laughing? Because this is a new way of thinking. You're getting it? So this is how we have to change. You're getting it? So in the first place, cousin means a human being. Your cousin, right? Human being. Where's the human being? It's a bunch of atoms. How old is your cousin? Huh? 14. He or she. She's not 14. She's 15 billion years old. The atoms which constitute her, they're 15 billion years old. She's 14 years old.
And if I think like that, how does it help?
This is what I'm saying. So therefore, your attachment to the cousin as cousin object there, that dissolves. That is the one, and you may say, oh, for my cousin it's not a problem. For somebody who I love so much, that's a problem. When I am separated, I feel the pain, right? But the moment you see things as objectively real, there's a loss of freedom. You getting it? Because it doesn't exist that way, and you are forced to believe that it exists objectively. So there's a loss of freedom. Loss of freedom is misery. And this you don't want. Okay, we stop here. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. Okay, in connection with what Chelsea said, that okay, let's say that the dad, what's her name, cousin? Jyoti. Okay, Jyoti is Jyoti the Chelsea's cousin? Yes. Don't deny this reality. We learned 2 questions. What's the first question? 2 things exist. Everything exists. Chelsea's cousin Jyoti exists as cousin. You cannot deny this. You're getting it? The thing is, Chelsea's cousin Jyoti, does she exist as Chelsea's cousin objectively? No, objectively, there's no Jyoti there in the first place. There's no human being in the first place, objectively. It's just a bunch of atoms. And atoms are not Jyoti. There's no human being in the first place. Without a human being, how can you describe somebody as cousin? So that human is purely coming from this subject. From the object is just empty bunch of atoms. So from the subject, human being comes in. The first layer of imputation, that you impute human being. Then on that layer, second layer is added, my cousin. Second layer is it. And then the third layer, my beautiful cousin. Third layer. Then fourth layer, I love her so much. All these layers are added to give you a very strong belief that things exist objectively. This is the chronic disease. This is something we have to get it off, right? It's undeniable that your cousin is your cousin. If you say that, no, she's not my cousin, she's just part of atoms, you have to go to mental hospital, right? She is your cousin, right? But she is not cousin objectively, right? What is rejected is that she being your cousin objectively, that is rejected. She being your cousin has to be established because we have to fulfill the answer, the first 2 questions. What are 2 questions? Do things exist? Does Jyoti exist as Chelsea's cousin? Yes. If you say no, you follow nihilism. Yes. Then does he exist as Chelsea's cousin, as objectively real? No. So this is what is rejected. Okay, we'll stop here after the next class.